Hi, my name's Carl Whitney. I'm a lieutenant with the Garden Grove Police Department. We were talking close calls and things that have happened in my career. I'm working graveyard. I'm a patrol officer, and I'm working the southeast section of the city. It was graveyard. It was cold. It was raining, and I just had stopped at my favorite, like 7-Eleven store, picked up my big mug of coffee, and it was quiet. So there was nothing going on the radio. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. So I leave the 7-Eleven, which is over off of Fairview and Trask. I drive south on Fairview, then I go eastbound on Westminster, so I'm coming up towards Harbor Boulevard. So, of course, I'm driving one of the old police cars, the Chevys, the big ones, and got the heater on, got my radio on, got my cup of coffee, so I'm set because it's nice. And there's not much going on because when it's raining, you don't want to go out and get wet in the rain. And so I'm just kind of cruising, doing about 40 miles an hour down Westminster, drinking my coffee. And as I come up to the intersection of Westminster and Harbor, I'm coming through the intersection going eastbound. I slow down to about 40 to go through the intersection. I grab my nice cup of hot coffee. I take a nice swig of the coffee as I'm going through the intersection. And just as I'm going through the intersection, as I'm drinking my coffee, I hear this, and my whole car shakes. I'm like, holy crap, what was that? And I see this flash in my rearview mirror. And then I look to my right and I see this big land tuna boat going northbound on Harbor Boulevard at about 90 miles an hour. And there's no lights on it. And it just missed the back end of my car as I was going through the intersection. I was like, holy crap, that could have hit me. It was so close. So I put my coffee down, make a U-turn, and I go back down Westminster, north on Harbor, and I'm hauling ass to catch up to this car. I finally catch up to him at Harbor and Garden Grove Boulevard, and I pull him over. It took me that long to catch up to him because he was doing like 90 down Harbor. Pull the guy over, and this guy is completely obliterated, completely drunk. He gets out of the car. I have to pull over to an area and redo the field sobriety test under the overhang, and we end up arresting this guy for being drunk, completely drunk. 3 other guys in his car passed out, beer cans flying out of the car, cowboy hats everywhere, cowboy boots. These guys were so drunk, and this guy went through the intersection and didn't realize how close this was to, like, a second earlier, I would have been killed, and it was just amazing that I survived.
So did that incident, how did that affect you? I mean,
well, it's one of those things now. That was early in my career. Then I became a motor officer. Then you learn to, as you're going through the intersections, just to check your intersections left and right before you go through the intersection. Several years into my career now, 27, teaching my kids to drive now. I tell them, hey, no matter what, when you get a green light or still green light, look left, look right before you even go. Even though you have that green light, you think it's safe. And it's just for that same reason. And I tell that story about that drunk driver that almost took me out, and it could have been number 6 up on the wall out in front of our police department. And so that was early in my career that started me down the road of doing traffic enforcement, and then became a motor, was a motor for 10 years, and did a lot of DUI enforcement. And that was probably one of the catalysts that started me to look for drunk drivers and go out there and arrest them and try to make an impact, make the road safer for everybody in the community.